Hello YouTube. Told you we were going to do a freeze drying video. What we've got here, we went to Costco. We have got 8812 ground beef. We've got 6.54 pounds. Paid $26.09 for it. I'm going to show you how we do our hamburger for long-term storage. First of all, we're going to start this. We're going to take this hamburger here. We're going to put it in here and we're going to brown it. When you're doing hamburger, ground beef, you do want to make sure you get the absolute leanest you can get. When you're freeze drying food, fats, oils, and grease are not your friends. That will make everything go rancid. So you want to make sure you have, you want to have it as lean as possible when you're doing it. So what we're going to do, we're just going to put this in here. We're going to brown it up. And once it's nice and brown, we're going to come back and show you what we're going to do with it after that. So I'm not going to bore you with the browning part. Simple ground beef. Like I say, 8812. 88% lean, 12% fat. Go with the lowest fat content you can, guys. And I'll explain, like I said, it does make it go rancid for long-term storage. If you want to get as much fat and as much grease out of this as you can. So this is probably going to take 15-20 minutes to get all this nice and browned up. But when it's done browned up, I'll come back and we will take a look at it then. Thank you. Alright YouTube, that took 28 minutes to cook up 6.54 pounds of hamburger. We did not add any spices to it. The reason we did or did not is because when it's freeze dried, we don't know if we're going to make spaghetti with it that night, tacos with it. You know, it depends on what recipe you're using. So if you seasoned all of this meat for tacos and then you decide to have spaghetti, then you would have to it'd already be seasoned for taco meat. So what we do is we keep it plain and we season it as we want to for whatever recipe we're going to make as soon as we open up a bag or a jar of it. So next step is what we're going to do is we're going to drain. Even though we got 8812 hamburger, there's a ton of grease still in it. So what we're going to do is we're going to let this drain off a minute. In this colander. And we don't want to manipulate it too much because we like the bigger portions of hamburger in ours like this. You don't want it all crumbles. We like some bigger pieces for spaghetti, etc. So we're going to let this sit here and drain. You can already see how much is coming out of there. So what we will do is after this sits here and drains for a while, we're going to take all of this into the kitchen sink, in this colander, not the kitchen sink, but in the colander. We're going to rinse it with hot water for about 10 minutes while we, move it around a little bit to wash off any fats or leftover grease or oil that might be in it. We don't want fats, grease, and oil going into our freeze dryer. It destroys the length of time you can freeze dry it or keep it. This hamburger freeze dried, it'll last for probably, it should last a good 10 to 15 years. Some people say 25 years. I'm saying meats that could have potential grease in it are going to not last as long. But if you get 10 years out of hamburger, I mean, if you're like us, we go through hamburger on a regular basis. So in an emergency situation, we don't have to worry about a freezer going down. We can just open a bag, put some hot water with it, and we got, fresh cooked hamburger. So we're going to let this drain. We're going to wash it down, like I say, for about 10 minutes with hot water. We're going to set this in the kitchen sink, use a sprayer, go over it, wash off any excess fats that might be in it. And once that's done, We'll come back, we'll weigh it, we'll put it on our freeze dry trays, and we'll go from there. See you in a minute. Alright guys, we've drained the hamburger, we've rinsed it for 10 minutes with super hot water, and we've let it drain all the water off for about another 10 minutes. As you can see, there's very little water left in the pan. We've got our scale, so what we're going to do is we're going to take this and we're going to try to put about a pound, pound and a half on each tray. We just kind of, we don't want to overfill it. About a pound and a half per tray. That's what we should be getting. So what we're going to do is we're just going to fill this up, and you want to get as much of the moisture out as you can. You're just going to fill your trays up. If you hadn't got a Harvest Right freeze dryer, you can look into it. They're a little pricey. We got the smaller one. Unless you're going to be doing a whole lot, it has really come in great for us because we like to bulk shop, and when you bulk shop, you can buy so much more and you can store it that way. Alright, that's 1.49. Okay. So that's 149. Remember, we start out with 6.5 pounds. Let's see how far we get here. I know we're going to get 3 trays. We may have a little bit left over. We'll see. And you can see some of this is it's not all, you know, minced up. You know, there's some chunks in there that comes in great when you're making spaghetti sauce. It's kind of like meatballs. We have made and freeze-dried meatballs. That works out good too. When you're doing meatballs, I suggest you cut them in half, just so they rehydrate quicker. What we're going to do with this is, after it's freeze-dried, we'll put some in jars and vacuum seal it with oxygen absorbers, and we'll put others in mylar bag and seal those, and put them up on the shelf. And when we're ready to use it, okay, that's 1.67. Okay. But it's really nice to be able to come home. The wife loves it because she just comes home, opens a bag, reconstitutes it with hot water. The good thing about your meats is you cannot over reconstitute. Meat will only absorb the amount of water it needs to rehydrate. If you use water that's about 100, almost 150, 160 degrees, it comes back really good, really quick. I think we might get 3 trays exactly out of this. We'll see. I think we're going to. Yeah, looks like it. You don't want to overcrowd your trays. That's 1.53. So this one was a little bit shy. So I'm going to fill him up a little bit more. And alright, that was 6.5 pounds of hamburger. Put that on the tray. And Harvest Right says you don't have to do this. We're going to take this, we're going to put it in our deep freezer, and we're going to let it sit just like this, uncovered. We're going to put it in there. We're going to let it sit overnight, 24 hours. And once it's good and solid frozen, we do that so the freeze dryer doesn't have to work as much, and we make sure that, you know, it's frozen good and solid when we put it in the freeze dryer. We're going to take it out of the freezer tomorrow, and I'll bring you guys along. We'll take it out of the freezer. I'll show you sliding it into the freeze dryer. That's probably going to take anywhere from 25, 28 to 40 hours. I like to run everything between 35 and 40 hours. We'll pull it out. I'll bring you along then when we pull it out, show you how you package it, and we'll reconstitute some to show you how it comes back. And so we'll be back after we get this frozen. I'll show you when we put it in the freeze dryer, and I will show you when we take it out of the freeze dryer packaging, and reconstitution. Okay, we'll see you guys maybe in about 40 hours. Thanks. Okay guys, it has been 24 hours. I don't know if you can see, our hamburger's got ice crystals in it. It's completely frozen. Our machine, our Harvest Strike, has already went through its 15-minute pre-cycle cooling. I don't know if you can see that. Load trays into the freeze dryer, close drain valve, which I've already done. I've cleaned my seal, and now we're just going to shut this. We're going to lock that down there, nice and tight. It's going to come back up here. We're going to hit, see, it's already at 40 degrees. I don't know if you can see it. It'll get down to negatives, sometimes negative 55, 60. Going to hit the continue button. Now we're freezing. It's at 39 degrees. And the machine pretty much will tell you when it's done. Here's the vacuum pump over here for it. We have the oil vacuum pump. Change the oil every 20 uses in the machine. Every 20 cycles. We change the oil, real simple. I'll show you how to do that in a later video. This is the Harvest Right small freeze dryer. I'll put a link in the description below if you're interested in one. I'm not promoting it. It's done really good for us. We bought this like anybody else. Buying in bulk and being able to freeze dry vegetables, sour cream, steak, just about anything you can think of. But you can't do like butters and anything that's got fats in it, oils, you know, things like that. That's not going to work for you. I know I'm probably giving you too much information in these videos for this first freeze drying video, but I just want everybody to know how the process goes. Like I say, the machine will tell us when it's done, and it'll keep it cold until we come back and we look at the screen, and you can add additional time. So let's say the machine says, okay, I'm finished at 25 hours. It gives me the option to come in and add more time to it, whether it be an hour, 10 hours. I like to go with 35 to 40 hours on everything. That way I know it's really good and freeze dried. So what we're going to do is we're going to let this go. You can see it's been a minute and 43, and it's already dropped it down to 28 degrees Fahrenheit. It's going to go down quick. But anyway, the next time you'll see it, we're going to be pulling it out of here, and we'll be taking it inside, putting it on the counter. We'll be packaging it up, and I will show you how it comes back. So we're probably going to see you in about 35 hours. I'll be back when it's finished. Alright guys, we've been freeze drying for 30 hours, 2 minutes and 33 seconds. I do not need any more dry time. So what I'm going to do is come over here, and there's a vent right here we got to open, and you will hear the vacuum release. That releases the vacuum in the freeze dryer, so we can open it. So we'll open the freeze dryer, and you'll see the ice build up in here. It's totally normal. The trays are 124 degrees Fahrenheit. They warm up themselves after the process is finished, unless you add more dry time. So we're going to take all of these out. We're going to close that up. We're going to come right up here on the Harvest Right, and we're going to hit defrost. And then, yes, we've done all that already. Hit continue, and defrosting the chamber. Keep the door closed. It'll take about 2 hours, and it'll thaw all this out, and all that condensation will run down to a little bucket we have over here. So what I'm going to do now is we're going to take this in, and I'm going to show you how to get it packaged up. Alright guys, we started freeze drying 6.5 pounds of hamburger. You just saw me take it out of the freeze dryer after 30 hours. We start out with 6.5 pounds after we cooked it, drained all the fats and the oils and the grease off, and we freeze dried it. Now we have 1.5 pounds of freeze dried ground beef. All I've done is take it off the trays and put it in this pot so I can measure it, weigh it out. What we have here, mylar bag. I'm going to put a link in the descriptions for everything that we got here. We've got our O2 absorbers out. You need to have all this prep when you get your food out. You don't want it to set out too long. We're going to put some in these jars, and I'm going to show you how to vacuum seal these jars. And this mylar bag is going in long-term storage, and we'll seal it on the Harvest Right sealer that comes with the unit. So what we're going to do is we're going to just put our freeze-dried hamburger in the mylar bags, or bag, and we're going to try to get it almost 3/4 full. That way you don't end up mashing or squashing everything. These bags are available online. They'll come in various sizes. We've got the ones where you get the gallons, the quarts, the pints, half-gallon bags. What we're going to do right now, since we still got to fill up the jars, I'm just going to seal this. They come with a zipper, like a Ziploc bag. I'm going to seal that for a minute because you don't want to let your O2 absorber sit out in the air too much. Once you open them, you got to be moving. You want to put your stuff in, seal it up, and then reseal your O2 absorber. We've got 1 jar of ground beef that we've been using. We're just going to top that off. This is for the kitchen. When the wife comes looking to do hamburger for something, tacos, spaghetti, sloppy joes, this is her go-to here. And I'm going to show you how to vacuum seal that. We'll put the lid on that. And we'll go ahead and make a quart jar. You see it makes a lot. And I'm going to leave a little bit out so we can rehydrate some for you guys. Show you how it comes back, about how long it takes. And see, you get the chunks still in there. Good chunks like that. When it comes back, it's going to be nice and chunky for your spaghettis, your sloppy joes. It's going to come back really good. You're going to be happy with that. Almost like miniature meatballs, almost. That's got a little too much. And the rest, we're just going to fill this jar up with here. Yeah, we went all the way from 6.5 pounds down to 1.5 pounds, but it'll reconstitute back almost to 6.5 pounds. Get all that down in there. As I make a mess everywhere. And we're going to reconstitute that with some hot water. Okay, now we've got all of our jars put together. We've got our lids. Going to. This is the part you want to be quick on. These are 100 cc O2 absorbers. I'm going to put one, two, three for 300 cc's. Put that on there. This is a quart. I'm going to put 2 100 cc's in. You want to make sure you have your oxygen absorbers. And over here, we're going to do 3 in here. A big jar. 1, 2, 3. And the other 2 that were left over, we're going to put in our mylar bag. This is a quart bag, so we're going to put those 200 cc's in there. I'm going to seal these up. The heat sealer I've already turned on, so it's already been warming up. That comes actually with your freeze dryer. If you buy a Harvest Right freeze dryer, it comes with this. It comes with mylar bags. And these, I'll put a link for description below in. I'm looking at my other gallon lid. There it is. Oh, there it was. Okay. All these do is they just snap on. And we have a food saver over here with the attachment. We're just going to stick that on top like that. Hit accessory. And just let that do its thing. It's going to pull a good vacuum on it. And you won't even have to put a ring on it. Once it's done, you take the accessory off, pop that off, and then you have like a canning seal on that. It's super sucked down. It's nice and it doesn't pop anymore. So we've got that. I've got 2 more of those to do. I'm not going to waste your time with that. I'll show you how we do the heat seal on this, on the mylar bag. And I found out it's a lot easier if you write what you're doing on the bag before you put your product in. It makes it a lot easier. In the meantime, I did put some water in this hamburger here, and I'm waiting for it to come back. Like I told you before, it doesn't matter how much water you put in your hamburger or your meats, because it'll only absorb what they need. So what I like to do is I put the mylar in the heat sealer. You push it down, the red light comes on over here. You can't see, but once it's sealed, it cuts off. I like to flip it over and do one more. Red light cuts off. This bag here is ready to go into long-term storage. They say up to 25 years. The way we go through hamburger, it'll be here probably about a year, maybe 2 possibly. So it's a good way for your long-term storage. We put these in totes because they're not impervious to rodents or bugs. I mean, bugs won't get to it, but like a rodent or something, it could get into it. So we suggest storing them in the heavy-duty totes like you get at Walmart. Your hamburgers come back. It's nice and soft. Tastes just like we cooked it yesterday, which we did a couple of days ago. But that's it. I did want to tell you too, the main reason, yes, that's the way it come back really nice. But the main reason this video is so long, and I won't do another one this long, simply because I want to take you from, since this is my first freeze drying video, I want to show you step by step from the very beginning to the very end, and I probably went overboard showing you everything. The only thing I'm going to do off camera now is seal these 2 jars here. That's all that's left to do. This one's already sealed. It'll just go back into the pantry and we'll date it, and she can come in and open it, reseal it as many times as she wants to. So like I said before, I'll put a link for everything in the description below. It has been a long video, guys. I'm sorry it took so long, but I wanted to try to explain everything I could to you without missing a step. So next time you're along on a video with me, freeze drying, you'll probably see me cook it, tray it up, freeze dry it, package it, and test it. We won't go through all the other little steps of anything special. So anyway, with that said, guys, I really appreciate you watching. This is really going to help you long-term storage, especially if you're bulk buying at your Costco's, your Sam's Clubs, where you're buying a lot. You can buy a lot of meat and freeze dry it. So anyway, Harvest Right did not send me any of this equipment. We purchased all of this. None of this is endorsed or given to us. It's all of our stuff. So anyway, I hope this helped you out, guys. So until next time, I'm Tad, and we will talk about your freeze drying experience. Have a great day.